What's poppin', y'all? This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices. The ability to faithfully settle in the life that has been set out for you, or the ability to pave a path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great. And even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So look, the title of this video is going to be, a lot of people don't realize what keeps us in a certain state of mind is fear and violence. You know what I'm saying? And threatening. You got to think, oftentimes what keeps a person from being able to speak up and admit the truth and really, you know what I'm saying, see the world for really what it really is because someone attached to them or around them doesn't want them to advance and grow. So they use fear and violence and manipulation to keep them trapped into a certain world to benefit them, not for your own self-growth. Listen, I had to do a lot of detaching from people. And you may feel like it's abandonment. I think that's why a lot of people like dumb themselves down just to get temporary satisfaction from people because they don't like to be alone. But that's because that's what we've been taught. Being alone is the antidote to realizing who you are. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it was so much fear all around that has you scared and frightened, making you think that you can't do a certain thing because it's going to come with this, it's going to come with that. But in reality, what if you experiencing that and that didn't happen? It was just words used to make you in fear and scared so that you wouldn't be able to set your mind free. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, you got to think about it. The old world was built off of ass whoopings, you know, whippings and slavery to try to trap your mind. You may have the scars and it may hurt for a little bit, but eventually you're going to get over that. But if you give them your mind, it's hard to get over that. But if you keep your mind and just take that for what it is, listen, you'll be able to grow. You know what I'm saying? They weren't doing anything wrong. They were just thinking outside the box. And they're having their own mind, which is out of the realm of what they had set for them. So I'm going to inflict fear. I'm going to inflict violence. I'm going to take your freedom so that you get trapped inside your mind and you never make it out to free yourself. I think that's extremely humiliating because you got to think of how the rapture is the ability for our world to shift into a new energy, meaning you have to have the ability to own yourself. There are people that are my age and older that are so trapped into the way that they think, they'll even make little kids their victims. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not strong enough to think for themselves. And without the support needed for them to be able to know who they are, it's easy for you to trick them into your spiritual jail that you use their energy to benefit off of them every day while slowly killing them. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, but it's real. I see it all the time. And these little kids don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But the freedom to have a free mind is something you have to kind of like train a child to know and be able to receive without being scared. You don't got to be in fear. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, me personally, I'm shifting. I've shifted out of that old world. I'm not going to whoop my child for something they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just something they were told not to do. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't tell them the possibilities of what could happen if they did it. That's what helps them make the best possible choice for themselves. Because a lot of times we're going to spend alone. And when you're alone by yourself, you don't think about what's going to happen if you make this choice. You make the choice because it's something you want to do. Period. You know what I'm saying? Listen, inflicting pain and violence to get a certain outcome is not the way because people are realizing that a lot of it is through intimidation and fear. If I make you believe something that it could happen if you do it, but you never do it to find out, you'll never know. You know what I'm saying? And then say you go through an experience where someone tried to scare you and you did it anyway, and you realize that what they tried to scare you with didn't happen. It wakes you up to be like, listen, it's so many principles and principalities in the world that are put upon people to scare them out of being able to be free. You know what I'm saying? It's a psychological penitentiary with most of the time the people you love. Most of the time the people you love is the ones that keep you stuck in that penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? By not allowing you to be free. Because they don't want to be free. You know? And it's scary because the younger the better. The younger is like fresh meat. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not against the women that are pregnant, because old life is dying. New life needs to be brought in. But a lot of the new life brought in is because a lot of the men realize, in order for me to keep my power, I need to convince younger souls that I'm the leader. And what other way to do that than to control a woman's mind and make her think that you are the leader. Everything you say goes. She doesn't have the ability to think for herself. She can't do nothing for herself. She can't use her own mind, because then she may call out something that you know is wrong, but in your mind you think it's right, and now it causes you to become angry. You know what I'm saying? And enraged, and that inflicts violence. And once somebody know that they're gonna be inflicted with violence, they tend to keep their mouth shut, but dying on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, but it's so the reality of what's currently going on. And it goes both ways, in men and in women, but particularly it's usually used in the men who are seeing that they can't no longer live in this mentality of manipulation and finesse to get what they want. They have to have the ability to speak the truth and be themselves. You know what I'm saying? And the only way that I can do that is I have to heal. I can no longer use someone to cover up the fact that I don't tell the truth. I use other people's energy to be able to create this false reality that I want to live in. You know what I'm saying? And anytime those people wake up, I inflict fear to keep them in line. But I give them a little stick that they can hold on to by telling them, hey, you can do this, you can do that. But I use fear behind it so that they don't even think about doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it takes reality to wake a person up so they can start to see the truth of what it really is. A lot of people are stuck in that mental box. You know what I'm saying? And for the ones that's waking up, it's harder for us to try to break out, because it's the ratio is like 100-1. And these people are skilled at trying to get a false narrative out about you that they start telling other people, finesse and manipulation emotions to tell a story about you. Because once you have that painted, anybody coming up behind it, it's kind of hard for that truth to be revealed, because you didn't had a whole smear campaign team up against you. You know what I'm saying? But you're able to get through life's current circumstances, and they can't process that. I think that's the truth. That's the evidence. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be revealed, that everybody can see. You're going through it, and you're not knowing how to process it, and it's showing your true colors. And it's revealing that everything you try to put upon someone is false. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the ability to see the universe, God, Allah, whatever you choose to call it, real work in real time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is going through it. But some people that are willing to accept the change are going to get through it faster. And some people that want to stay stuck are going to have a harder time, or they're going to stay stuck. You know what I'm saying? Psychological warfare on your mind is to keep affiliating yourself with people that want to demean your character. They want to put you down. They want to tell you the way you operate and think is not conducive to the world and the box they're still stuck in. Because your energy of dumbing yourself down benefits them. And you have to create boundaries to where you be like, you know what, hey, I'm not fucking with you no more. You know what I'm saying? It may feel like you are alone, but what you're doing is creating boundaries to these people who feel as if it's necessary for them to control other people's life to feel validated, to feel in control and in power. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it all across the board. I truly believe, for me, that if you're a certain age, you shouldn't be talking to someone that's hella younger than you. Because I feel like you can't get on the level of someone who's your age. So you have to go down to someone that you can have the ability to control their mind more. You know what I'm saying? That is insane to me. I want to date someone that's my age. You know what I'm saying? Which means you got to get your mind right. A lot of people are grown-ups, but with kid mentalities. So because of that, they have an easier time controlling children than actually being able to get on the same energy with someone that's their age. You know what I'm saying? I be feeling bad because I can tell when someone's in a psychological fence and they don't know how to get out because they feel unsafe. If they are able to get out, like they don't have no protection around them, which is protection of people that see you for you and help aid you in being able to be you. Because a lot of the world has been created off of people being fake versions of themselves or being versions of what other people wanted them to be. So imagine one day waking up to the truth of who you really are, but you're too afraid to be that because you feel like nobody will understand you or protect you. So you tend to fall back into what people want you to be. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to take the risk. You got to be strong enough to understand it may hurt. It may take you through something you can't handle. But in the long run, you'll see the fruits of your labor. Of being able to stand in your truth, create boundaries, and stop letting people who don't align with you come in and try to tell you who you are. The truth is in your face. What's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. You don't, listen, we learned that when we were young. If it's wrong and you know there's consequences behind that and you still choose to do it, that's on you. But if it's right and you choose to move in a right way, I promise you, you might not see the results right away. But over time, you will. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be the greatest move you've ever made. You know? Psychological warfare and the bullpens that people are in and the looks on people's faces when they be looking like, please, get me out of this. I do not know what I'm in right now, but I know one thing, it ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the language we miss is the one unsaid. You know what I'm saying? It's not to point the finger, but it's real life. A lot of the men that have been abandoning their children and basically living the street life are now trying to be in their children's life. But some of it is not because they actually want to be in their life. It's because they know the old world is fading. You know what I'm saying? And the children be having this look on their face like, I know what's happening. And I'm about to get stuck in a cycle that I'm not going to be able to get out of. You know what I'm saying? And I need help. And it's the soul talking. You know what I'm saying? You got to think some people don't feel bad about who they've been all their life. They just know that if they want to survive, they need to start getting on what everybody else is doing. Not because they truly, authentically want to do it. It's sad, but it's so real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the women that have been using men, you know what I'm saying, to just get pregnant by them so they could use them for the money, is starting to realize, you know what I'm saying, a lot of men ain't falling for that. They want real women that are actually got something going on for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not ones that want to trap them for their money. Or shit, you got ones that ain't even looking for that because they can get their own bag. You know what I'm saying? So it's making it harder for you to even, as a man or a woman, to go out and try to talk to anybody because there are people who are zoning in and locking in on who they are, and they're knowing that protecting their energy is very detrimental at all costs. You know what I'm saying? Because the worst war of all wars is the war and power of your mind. You know what I'm saying? And if someone can study you and figure out your weaknesses and you let them in, I promise you, it's easier to let them in than to get them out. You feel me? Sometimes they stay stuck for a very long time, even if you're apart from that person, because you allowed their energy to come into your energy and they don't want to leave. They actually want to latch on to you having the ability to set yourself free, but they don't want to grow, and it's holding your progress back in life. You know what I'm saying? And you're having to deal with the ability of understanding the universe, God, Allah, and time, to know that once you heal yourself from that energy, you'll be able to advance forward. Because at some point, then people are going to have to realize you can't keep holding on to something that you're not. You have to let go. Because you holding on to someone that has had the ability to set themselves free is causing karma in your life, because you're holding on to something that's not you. You know? That's sad, but it's real. I never knew that it really worked like that. And a lot of times it be the people closest to you that keep you stuck in certain ways of thinking, because you want their love, you want their attention. You know what I'm saying? You want to feel a value to them. Nigga, listen, fuck all that. I don't need to feel value to nobody but myself. And if you want to roll with what I'm on, and you want to be able to get through the universe and what it's putting on the people that has nothing to do with other people, you can't keep playing victim to something the universe is doing. You need to be able to heal yourself. You know what I'm saying? And start trying to get on the same playing field as someone that's going through the kickback in an easy way. It doesn't look like they're going through anything mentally, because they're rolling with the tide, because it's something they can't control. But one thing you can control is your brain and how you process things. You know what I'm saying? And listen, it's scary. But what's not scary? Everything you face for the first time is going to be scary until you realize you can get over it. And then a lot of times, like for me, I don't want to experience that again. So I'm going to do everything I can to prevent myself from experiencing that again. But then some people, even though it was scary, they like get a thrill out of that. And what they start doing is making it seem like it's a success story out of something that is not okay. You can't keep thinking it's okay and free you, and people should write you and send you money because you keep going to jail. That is not a badge of honor, because the world is moving outside, and when you get out, a lot of times you have a hard time catching up because you thought that was the life. That's not the life. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? So listen. Understanding and realizing that when you have the ability to set yourself free and everybody feels as if they're targeting you and you feel really isolated, you having the ability to fight through the war, you gonna get banged up. Your heart is gonna get stomped on. You gonna need a few stitches, a few band-aids. You might scrub and fall, but you gonna keep getting back up. And that endurance shows the spiritual wounds and spiritual doors that were closed to open up for the people before and after you. They're not going to like their own journey, but it's not up to you to be concerned with what they don't like. You allow them to figure out the exits to the situations and problems they created. Don't go back dumbing yourself down to help them, because now they're realizing they bit off more than they can chew. You know what I'm saying? And that's the world we living in. It's showing people that your actions is causing certain karmic consequences that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Means you're going to have to change. But in order for them people to see that, before they get a chance to see that, they're going to try to bite a person that has made it out, because they want to get you to crumble and go down so that they can be able to still think their world is going to survive. Don't dumb yourself down. Do not go backwards. Stand tall with these people. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to let them back in, because they're going to try their old tricks. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to manipulate you. They're going to try to finesse you. They're going to try to, you feel me, make you feel less than. You know what I'm saying? And that little ounce of feeling less than or dumbing yourself down is going to give them the ability to think the world they living in is okay. You know what I'm saying? We're all God's children. But some of us are going to wake up and some of us are not. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think each one feeds off of each one. You know? So listen. I don't take back nothing I'm going through. I don't take back nothing I've made it through, because I know that love to me is having the ability to set my child free. Having her have the ability to know it's okay to be you in a world where they're not going to make you feel like it's okay to be you because you constantly want to feel loved. That means you adjust who you are to fit everybody else. And when you're constantly trying to make everybody else happy, when you are not making yourself happy and you get depressed, those people are going to make you feel bad for something that you feel simply because they're not happy in their own life. And when you're depressed and sad, they can't use you. They need you to be strong for them, even though they're weak. You know? So the moment you start feeling bad and you get weak and you get depressed, and it doesn't matter, 8 to 80. Kids are just as much as a victim as adults are. The more depressed you are, I can't use you. So I'm going to make you feel bad for the feeling that you feel because you're trying to hold me up. You're trying to make me feel good about who I am. And because you want my attention so much, I'm using that to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? Instead of showing you love so you can have the ability to love yourself. And know that the reason why you're having all this pent up depression is because you're so busy trying to make everybody else happy and you don't have nobody around you showing you how to make yourself happy. But in order for them to be able to show you how to make yourself happy, they got to be making themselves happy. They're not going to be able to show you that if they're using your happiness to keep them afloat. Kids are precious and pure, you know what I'm saying? And usually they have no idea of the dark side and the light side until they're succumbed to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be that person that got to be strong all the time to keep everybody afloat, because I'm only human. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to relax sometimes. I need to be able to feel loved and cared for so that I can be able to keep doing what I came here to do. Which means I'm not going to allow you to make me feel bad because I'm trying to hold you up and you ain't doing nothing to hold me up. You basically sucking me dry. You know what I'm saying? Using all my energy to validate your life, but you're not pouring back into me. You're just gaslighting me every time I get into a mode where I feel depressed, instead of actually changing and pouring into me like I'm pouring into you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is exempt. Kids are being used. Adults are being used. Older people are being used. Everybody is getting used. You know what I'm saying? Against these people that don't want to see themselves as the problem. You don't need therapy for someone to tell you that you the damn problem. All you need to do is sit back and look at your life and want to take the initiative to change. Means it's consistent. You don't change on Monday and then you back doing the same thing on Tuesday. You try on Tuesday. Even if you make a mistake and you revert back to the old you, that's okay, but at least you tried. You try on Monday, you try on Tuesday, you try on Wednesday, you try on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You try every day of your life until you get the results of actually shifting into the person that you know you can be, that's a vessel to other people like they're a vessel to you. And that balances out the scales to have the energy flow efficiently. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what it feels like to feel like all life is gone. Depressed, dirty, not taking a shower, don't care about your appearance. You know what I'm saying? Not getting no sleep, not eating. The only things you're worried about is the things that are damaging you. You know what I'm saying? Not the things that are lifting you up. You know, and the only person that can save you is you. Stop depending on other people to save you. Because when they need to save themselves, they're not going to think about you. They're going to think about themselves. Get out of the victim mentality. You know what I'm saying? Stop using people's mindset and holding them back in their life because you can't grow inside your own. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, the sweetest trick is to be able to attach to someone and play like I'm playing your game. Until I get tired and I don't want to play no more, but you don't know that. And now you have no choice but to wake up. And a lot of times that prepares people more into victim mentality because you thinking all these people are on your team, but what's happening is they're attached to you, but they're waking up. And now you're forced to wake up because they're not listening to you. They're not following you. They're not scared anymore. They face their fears. You know what I'm saying? And they're realizing that violence is a threat. You know what I'm saying? Manipulation is a threat. You know what I'm saying? Speaking down on you is a threat. It's not really who you are. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm a victim of mind manipulation. But I'm also a survivor because I realized how me not believing in myself allowed these people to do that to me. And when I woke up, they all turned on me and made me seem like I was doing something wrong because I wouldn't allow them to use me. And sometimes that's going to cost you your old life to grow into your new one. You're not going to see the results right away. But I know I'm going to see the results though. And a lot of those people are still going to be stuck wishing and hoping that they can latch onto your energy because you made it through the very thing that they're stuck in. Don't give them the time or the day. If you allow people to come back in that you know betrayed you, you know had conversations behind your back talking about you, stand your guard. Stand on your boundaries. Because a lot of the times, they're agents still. Sent by people that are facing karmic consequences and they getting scared. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful. Stand your guard. I don't care. 8 to 80. I don't got to talk to you. I will exit stage left straight out of your life. As soon as I feel like you lying, you manipulating, and you ain't trying to work on yourself. You trying to demean me to feel good about your little life you stuck in. Hey, this ain't that and that ain't this. So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. If you stuck in mental prison, you can get out the moment you start waking up to your truth. Your life is your truth. Stand on that shit. Speak that shit. Let a person know you ain't finna keep treating me like this.